what was the music stuff for Mac?
Oh,
Mac
yeah.
music.
No, it wasn't that.
Music.
Maybe it was iMusic or something like that.
Mackle Tunes.
Oh no. Oh dang it! It was almost right there.
There was something with a pickle. Odd something. I don't know.
Oh no, that was the
PST.
website, but this was the actual software. But anyway, it had stingers built in and whatnot, and you would, I mean, because when I would look for a theme, I would go through all of the songs, listening for the one that would really hit, the one that would inspire. And so I had pretty much all of them locked in the memory banks. And there was one show that just kind of ruined it for me, because what they would do is they would riff songs over them. And I mean, they were really good and they were really funny and whatnot, but it was just like, I can never listen to those songs again without thinking of these ridiculous songs that they put together.
That'll learn you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It's good. That's what I'm trying to say. I should test the music. It's going to work. Boom, look at it work. There it is.
And now it's twice. Now it's three times as good.
Yeah, because you can't push it and close it. You think I would have learned that. Why can't I get the second monitor to work? That's crazy. Oh, well.
Oh, still can't?
Acting up too. I don't know. Maybe it's a driver.
Everything worked fine Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the HDMI on this old computer's going wonky.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
The headset jack was. I now have a board that I connect the laptop Bluetooth to play music through for trivia.
Smart. It's a good workaround.
Yeah. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. But then I have to remember to check all of my volume settings every time I go, because I can't just leave things the way they were. Because some places you need the mic louder, which at other places will make the speaker go, yeah.
Only play Blues Traveler songs?
Yeah, I like to make sure people have a good time.
I always thought you liked to give them the runaround.
No, that's
Wow.
I mean, I'll play something else, but only if you conquer me. That's a deep cut. Most people don't know that Blues Traveler song. That's my favorite Blues Traveler song.
I didn't. I'm just pretending I knew.
They have a song called Conquer Me, and it is absolutely my favorite Blues Traveler song.
Yeah, I know how context clues work, Billy. I'm autistic. How do you think I've survived this long?
Paying people off?
No, that's just to be my friends.
Fair enough.
Speaking of, where's my check?
It's on its way.
I've got to get ready for a show. Talk to Rich, but I don't know. I have no idea what you're referring to, miss. Checks. I thought everything was Venmo. What's going on? What?
No, Matt Gates ruined that.
Aren't we Venmoing? Venmo friends. All right, so y'all ready to start nonsense or?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start this nonsense.
Hey, it's the one and only. This month, technically, it's GRD sWeekly.
Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Coming to you tariff-free.
Oh,
Right.
It's the best way to be. Hi, everyone. We're the fine folks from GeekRadioDaily.com, welcoming you to GRD sWeekly episode number
335. 4, 5, 7.
See? When you're so unsure, it makes me wonder. The folks bringing it to you today, the woman who makes it all make sense. That there's the Flintstress.
We never lose our demons. We only learn to live above them.
The lady who responds well to accusations. That there's Carol the Cat.
Witches like you are the reason people think we poison apples and steal children and eat babies.
Babies are delicious.
The man who sums things up succinctly. It's podcasting's Rich Sickford.
Very interesting, but stupid.
And I'm the guy that people like to question sometimes. I'm the wonderful Billy Flynn.
Have you been smoking marijuana?
Whoa, hey now. Who the hell starts a conversation that way? What the hell's that about?
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Wow.
Wait, let me go look. Oh, what happened this weekend? The geeky thing, yeah?
Well, there's the shows that we currently watch. We watch Tracker, And there
Yeah, we
was
did.
actually a little bit of a steamy scene at the end where, but
We kept the
here's the
shirt on.
problem though. He never took his shirt off.
Nope.
The woman in the scene did.
She
And
did.
that's his actual wife in real life. And it was
So she
like, ugh,
became severely less attractive once I learned that.
yeah. Well, she's lucky, that's for sure.
She damn sure is.
Mhm.
Sure is.
But that's, our fun guilty pleasure kind of show. We are one behind or two behind on Daredevil, right?
I'm so far behind. So far behind.
Yeah, so far behind. Whoa. I mean, the violence of this show is like
Yeah.
things they don't normally show on TV and movies. Like this is barely R-rated. Like if there was a higher level that was just violence. Well, now we do get some Matt Murdock in the shower time, so that episode was for the ladies. But ooh, yeah,
Yeah, if
and
you were
just
worried that Disney was gonna water Daredevil
ooh,
down, they don't.
No, they have not.
ooh, ooh. When he's more violent than the Punisher, I mean, damn.
We haven't really got to spend a lot of time with the Punisher yet. Give it some.
No,
He can
but
throw some shit down.
yeah. And just like the duality of their nature, right? To be a vigilante and to have a secret identity, you have yourself and you have your costume self, and which one do you consider the real you? And what, you try to not be that person anymore. But then you also have like Wilson Fisk, you're a kingpin, criminal, bad guy trying to go straight as the mayor, sort straight-ish, right? Um,
As straight as a
yeah,
politician can be.
Trying to do
right.
a good job of looking straightish.
I don't know what
Well,
you're talking about. I'm a legitimate businessman.
there was a scene in one of the episodes, and this isn't a spoiler, that like the police are reporting to him on a crime that they're investigating because that happens. Police have to give a report to like the chief of police and the mayor and all that stuff. But then later on, he's like walking around the crime scene, and I'm just kind of like, I don't think the mayor usually has that kind of access. But I
This
mean,
is a mayor who cares.
But are you going to stop him? The man's a wall.
mm,
I don't think that I'll leave right now. Yes,
yeah.
sir, Mr. Fisk.
Here you go. Yep, whatever you like.
Like a
Let's see what else.
sandwich.
We got a dog. Our dog's name is Max. He's super cute. He's a beagle. He's sleeping right now. Maybe we'll put some pictures up, but he's mostly good. It's just a bit of an adjustment. Like our kid was like a little jealous of him at first because I had to like take care of him and give him my attention, and like we're still figuring out all of the settling in kind of stuff. But welcome to the GRD family, Max.
See, that's why you always trade the kid out for a dog. So you don't have to
Yes.
worry about that.
I had to wait a couple more years before I can trade her out.
Even swap.
Yeah. So our kid really likes soccer. And so after watching Welcome to Wrexham, I said, you've got to give Ted Lasso another try. She didn't like the first episode, and she likes a soccer show that has a lot of soccer. And it takes a little while before Ted Lasso really gets to the soccer because they spend time introducing the characters and their backstory and everything, right? And so eventually, of course, she loved Ted Lasso. We mainlined it. We watched all 3 seasons since the last time we've done this weekly show.
I'm gonna say in 2 weeks.
She is definitely a binge watcher. Try to get her to watch a whole movie, no, but watch 3 10-hour episodes. I mean, like seasons worth of episodes. Yeah, sure, whatever. But because it always started on the streaming platform, the episode lengths vary. And I really like that. I remember an English teacher saying once, like, how long does your essay need to be? It needs to be as long as it needs to be in order to tell your point, whether that's 4 paragraphs or 6 paragraphs. And of course, as a student, I was like, come on, whatever. And I just wrote the standard 5 paragraphs.
Yeah. You're always like, but what's the length for it to pass? That's the thing that I mean.
Like, what's what I mean to get the grade that I care about, right? Anyway, so and our kid got straight A's again for the quarter. I kind of want her to not get straight A's just so that she can break her streak, but whatever, sure. Interesting. She's young. She's only in the 5th grade, and she has a phone and she's texting, and a kid added her to a group text without her consent. So she's trying to delete it and block it. But I have a very advanced parental monitoring app So not only do I have control over what she can access, I can also see everything. So even though she's not even still in this chat, I have had over 100 like fling notifications on inappropriateness in this chat. I'm like, oh my God, it's only in the 5th grade. Like gross stuff, y'all, like sexual stuff and like bad stuff.
And
So
also-
Tell him how bad it was.
Hmm,
Tell him how bad it was.
what part of it?
That you've contacted officials.
Oh yeah, I had to actually like tell the school. And the school, I feel bad for them because they don't want to touch it. They don't want to have anything to
Yeah.
do with it. But it's like they're all trying to say, oh, it's outside of school, outside of school. I was like, the only reason these kids have contact with each other is because they're sitting together in the same classroom. If you don't think that they're also talking about that in class, you're delusional. And plus, I don't have a way to contact these other kids' parents to just be like, hey, you might want to know about this, right? If this was my kid who was doing it, I'd want to know. I'm not judging them for not having their kids' phone locked down or monitoring them or them having social media or whatever. It's also a very different experience when a kid has an older brother or sister, and our kid just doesn't have that. So anyway, it's just we're trying to ease into the digital realm to take some of the taboo out of it. So a lot of them are like, oh, we're waiting till middle school or we're waiting till later. But like middle school is going to be a big enough of a change as it is. I think throwing a whole new device, I don't know, based on our kid, based on our situation, we're easing in. But I was like, damn, I was not expecting to have to deal with some of that stuff. So when you have to look stuff up on Urban Dictionary to be able to tell what they're talking about, yeah, and it's gross.
Or having to look on the map where the attack is going to be and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
where's Yemen exactly? Okay.
At least, yeah, they weren't plans and signal, but it was still not fun to have to deal with that. So that I'll let you know how that ends up developing. Oh, in addition, I'm jumping all over the place, but in addition to watching Ted Lasso, which of course rewatching Ted Lasso is it's a good way to make you feel like good about humanity
Mm-hmm.
again. We watch a lot of soccer and just love that show. We also watched Bend It Like Beckham, and that's from what 90 something. That's early.
I think it's actually 2000.
Yeah, but early
2000 or
to right?
2000.
Yeah.
Early,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
So this is Keira Knightley. She's the only, and what's his name? Jonathan
Reese
Myers.
No, just kidding. I was like,
Reese,
Davies.
Reese Davies.
I was gonna say Reese Davies. I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
I am open.
Jonathan
I am open.
Myers.
A British sword is a
Well,
sword.
he's the coach, so.
Just toss me. But he was also the love interest, which is like, oh, really? Show. In some
John
ways,
Rhys
it holds
Davies?
up really well. In other ways, it's like, wow.
Next up, Ladybugs.
Yeah, that's on the list. But it's just interesting though on this like things that do and don't hold up over time. Anyway.
What about
So it's kind
Shaolin
of
soccer?
interesting.
Oh yeah, no, we
Oh,
saw.
we definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Shaolin
I was
soccer.
hoping you would.
Right. Well, because she also likes martial arts too. So that not that kung fu is exactly martial arts, but yeah, she enjoyed the heck out of some Shaolin soccer.
You're not sure
What?
if kung fu is martial arts?
Well,
The
it is, but it's more like the mystical martial arts.
the opinions expressed by Flintsters do not actually represent the thoughts of
It
the
is
rest of us.
100% martial arts. It is 100% martial arts.
The
Don't
next Karate Kid
me.
movie is going to take a kid who is trained in kung fu and add karate to his knowledge base.
Also, Shaolin people can't do the shit that was in that movie. That was wire work. Pretty sure. Out of all the monks that I party
I've
with.
seen some cars move in weird angles, so I'm not sure about that, sir.
Yeah.
What you're talking
So
about.
the other one we haven't watched it with her yet, but I've watched. It's called Next Goal Wins, and it's Michael Fassbender and like he
Oh,
goes
yeah.
it's like wow.
Taika Waititi?
Thank you. I know it just took me a second. I was like, nope, not Tahiti. Taika
Took you
Waititi.
so many seconds.
And so it's got that kind of humor vibe. So that's another one kind of on our list to watch.
Hmm.
But she's all about like everything soccer. Flynn and I watched finally. It came out on streaming that we could watch it. Captain America: Brave New
Brave New World.
And I had managed to stay really very, very spoiler free on this. I don't know if it just because nobody was talking about it or what, but because I didn't even know, I didn't know about the Red Hulk. I mean, I knew the Red Hulk because I've seen the pictures, the posters and stuff, but I didn't know that just wasn't Banner who had gone red.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
literally
wrong.
did not. I was able to spoil
He got a
free
really
the
bad
whole thing.
sunburn.
No, he got embarrassed.
Well,
Hulk shy.
Hulk
red
shame.
sun or something. I don't know.
Hulk rip pants.
No.
Hulk red now.
But also, when the Red Hulk hulked out, his pants also still fit as well.
Naturally.
So, very very stretchy.
Me now, Lobster Hulk. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it wasn't a great movie. It was
Mm.
yeah, it was just kind of a sort of filler. I
It's
wanted it
the
to be
upper
better. I
middle
wanted
movie in the
Yeah.
Marvel line.
Yeah, it's not like
yeah. One of the
Captain
best fight
Marvel is
scenes.
mid. It's a little bit above that.
The Winter
so,
Soldier, but
Oh, wait, Captain Marvel, is that what you said?
I said, yeah,
Okay, you are
Captain
entitled to your
Marvel's a
opinion.
bit
This movie
mid.
was far inferior to Captain Marvel, in
Captain
my
Marvel's
opinion.
great.
I put Captain Marvel in the top like 25%. If the top 25, not top 10, but top 25% of Marvel movies.
It's in my
I think
top
on-
25 Marvel movies.
Oh, because there have been
Yeah,
100.
but
Well,
that's
there
all
are
you've
a
seen.
hundred of them. But anyway. Yeah, what else? Oh, one of the best fight scenes was like kind of near the beginning, right? Where he has the vibranium wings and all of
Yeah.
that. And then we go so much more movie. And I'm like, wow, that must have been a really expensive scene to film because we never saw. I was like, is he gonna put the suit back on at all? Is this Sam's movie? Is
All right,
this
guys, we got to do the talking stuff now. All right, we blew like half the budget. Okay.
right? I was
And
like,
we're
oh,
almost out of red Kool-Aid to put on Harrison Ford. So
yeah. I did like how it looked like his face though, hulkified.
the
His
pictures
face
that I
was
saw, yeah, it really did.
They're
Yeah.
really kind of weird.
And also, like, I'm not trying to jinx anything in the universe, but man, he's getting old. Oof.
Harrison
Anyway,
Ford?
He's in his
Yeah.
he's in his 80s.
Yeah.
He's-
Yeah.
Cause he is.
The fact that he's still able to do any of this is just remarkable. Remarkable.
Well, I mean, he didn't
Um,
red. People do that for him.
But the fact that he worked out to get in Hulk shape was amazing.
That's amazing. I
Amazing.
mean, he going on the Marvel diet at that age.
And here this whole time I thought he'd been shrinking. That's another show he's on.
Nice reference. Let's see what else we watch. Mel has gotten into like cooking shows, so we're watching Top Chef. We're gonna let her catch up and then watch Top Chef with us. She started with baking shows. Baking shows were her gateway drug to cooking shows, and so
It's like, no, now I
yeah.
want to see people cook. Cook.
Well, maybe the next step will be her actually trying some foods. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
That could be a really good way in. It really can. Because they're like, you know what?
Right?
That thing, I really want to try it. Since it's demystified, I know how everything goes,
Yeah. Well, it's all very chefy and complicated. So if she was like, "Yeah, I want this," and I'll be like, "I have no idea how to make it." Sure, we don't have liquid nitrogen hanging around, Sometimes they do that.
Got a fire extinguisher around here. That'll work, right?
Exactly. You gotta find some-
Exactly. So anyway, we're one episode behind on that, but we like Top Chef. And last thing on my list is I had a friend who really wanted to go to one of those like mega cons. So GalaxyCon was in town, and we just went for like a couple of hours, and it was okay. We walked down the vendor hall most of the time, and like those big, massive vendor halls, it's just like, ooh, look at all the shiny dice, and it's cool to see. Because you can buy all that stuff online and you can go shopping and, get it from lots of different places. But there's a lot of actual local craftsmen, or like, even
Good.
if they're not local and they tour around to these conventions, still, a lot of times you're talking directly to the maker of these things. And I always prefer supporting those people as opposed to just one of these, like, I'm just selling resales of toys and I
Yeah.
go around to all of these, or t-shirts or anything like that. So,
I just got these drop shipped in. Yeah.
right, exactly. So I mean, with the tariffs now, who knows what's going to happen to all that stuff.
Yeah.
She says as she pinky out drinks from her can. Sure.
Right. But we didn't do any of the like gaming stuff, or like it was just they had a big hall where they had big, it was kind of cool. We didn't go to any of the celebrity stuff either, but like Weird Al was there, and that would have been cool. But oh my god, not only are the ticket prices just stupid ridiculous, but like if you wanted to do any of those like special things with a guest, I was like, good for you.
It's astounding how much they're charging for stuff.
Yeah.
Good for you. So yeah, but so it was just kind of nice to have like a reminder of like, oh, it they had panels and there was programming and there were things that you could get out of it that you could also get from a regular con. But yeah. And honestly, for me, walking around and seeing people cosplay or like running into geeky friends who are all there, but it was really, really crowded. So I didn't see. Oh, I did see Davy and Angela were there because Davy Beauchamp had a
Ah,
art
a booth.
table and Angela was helping out. So it was nice to see some familiar faces. But yeah, I will say, unless I like totally forgot something huge. Oh, sorry, yeah. No, I have a new favorite author. I mean, I still don't get me wrong, I still love Nora Roberts, but I read it's called The Stolen Queen. It's on the bestseller list. The author is Fiona Davis, I think. And it's historical fiction and I really liked it. So it was set in two time periods. It's set in like the 20s and also in like the like 60s, right? So like it's the main character, you see like her as an adult, but then she also like flashes back to when she was young. But it's partially set in Egypt, so it's all about an Egyptian sculpture that is stolen from the Met Museum. So she works at the Met in New York. So
Oh.
I really, not only do I like historical fiction, but I like where the setting is also a character
Mm.
too, if you will, or like places that I either know or want to travel to. So and then I read another one of her books. So basically, like once I like an author, then I'm like, ooh, what else have they written?
Hmm.
And the other one is called The Chelsea Girls, and it's that was more like McCarthy era, which was kind of cool. So it was like it starts at like the end of World War II and goes through like the 60s in the time period. And but it was all about like Broadway and like how we all know that like artists were particularly targeted in that
Mm.
communist scare, the House Un-American Committee. It was also a little bit of an interesting like we're sort of heading in that exact same direction right now. So it was a little bit too real, but it was kind of nice because we came out of that as a people at least once before. So maybe, we'll find our way
Hmm.
out of that again. But there were a lot of brave people in Broadway who were employing people who were blacklisted and just like doing whatever they could to get through that horrific time in our history that I hope we are not on the verge slash in the midst of repeating. Um, and it's so funny. My local library had a lot of other books by Fiona Davis, and so I went and put a bunch of them on hold. They all came on the exact same day. I was like,
Don't you love that?
okay, I
You put
took
like
six
six
books
books on
home,
hold,
right? But
and now
they're
you're like,
not.
okay, now I just have to read everything
Right.
like all day.
So if I'm kind of MIA or not really like on social media or like anything, it's because I'm either playing with my new pup or reading.
Books.
Um, but yeah, at least
Books.
the books aren't they're not like, because most libraries you can't renew something that's on the bestsellers list because it's in high demand or if it's something that like a new release that just came out. But these is her like back catalog. So if I have to do a couple of renews to get through my stack of TBRs, I will. But yeah, so if you enjoy that kind of book, I highly enjoyed the first two that I've read. So okay. Officially, that has been my geeky sweek. Take it away.
I always thought the McCarthy era was the 80s.
That was the Andrew McCarthy era.
Oh,
Yeah,
different guy.
that was
Totally different guy. Totally different.
Yeah. Are you or have you ever been a member of the Brat Pack?
Nice one, Carol.
I'll go next. Okay, so a good half of my geeky week was spent in Jacksonville, Florida.
Woo!
Um,
How's
I
your brother
wish
doing?
it was he's
Yeah.
good. My brother, excuse me, uh, she's not gonna leave me alone.
Nope.
My brother has a heart condition, and
Yeah.
they were looking at him for either a heart transplant or a device that they put inside your heart. I don't know, but either way,
Like a cybernetic robotic
it's
device.
it's like a robotic device.
His heart
But he
just
would
beats
have to
bum
like
bum 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 bum.
he would have to literally carry a
bum.
battery pack with him
Ooh.
at all times.
Like a proton pack?
Yeah, I know. They were discussing all sorts of things, but he had to go down for a series of tests at the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. And since I am his quote
For
unquote
the
designated
mustard clinic.
caregiver, I had to go down with him. So
Cool.
we drove down there. He did a bunch of tests and he did wonderfully. And he's responding well to meds and he's responding well to
Yay.
diet. And so they've deferred him and he doesn't need a new heart or a device or
Yay.
anything. So That's all good.
Good job, Carol's brother, for real.
Yeah.
While we were there, we were going from one. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Jacksonville's Mayo's Clinic. It's huge. It's a sprawling campus, but they have a couple of outpatient buildings, and we were going to go to a appointment at one of the outpatient buildings, and my car wouldn't start. We got into the car in the garage, and my car would not start. And man, that is a panicky moment in a city you don't know.
Yeah.
And your car just won't start. Thankfully, it was just the battery. Also, thankfully, we were in the garage of the Mayo Clinic. So I'm like, if either one of us has a heart attack over this, the doctors are closed. But yeah, I got a mobile mechanic out. It was just the battery, and then Fizzy was back up and running, and all was right with the world.
Yay.
I have really
Well,
good
down
insurance,
there-
so I go to the Aioli Clinic.
It's a good plan.
God, just rub your superior condiment healthcare in our face. Anyway, I'm lucky to get Miracle Whip.
We're in the South. We got Duke's Clinic. That's where we go to. It's spicier.
We literally do.
It's got that twang.
While down there though, because we had a couple afternoons free, I of course researched bookstores, and we found this used bookstore called Shamelin Book Mine, which looks like a rundown building from the front, and you walk in and it's literally a labyrinth of used books, and it was overwhelming how big the store was. And there's literally arrows printed on the floor for you to follow so you don't get lost. But
The IKEA.
I got lost. And so
That's a
I'm
bad
like,
thing about dyslexia.
yeah, I'm like texting my freaking brother, where are you? And he's like, in the mystery section. I'm like, where the hell's the mystery?
That's the mystery.
But we were
Where's
trying
the
to find
self-help section?
We were trying to find the register after. Come on, Nix. Come on. We were trying to find the register after finding books, and got lost and discovered a tiny little room that was devoted completely to books on terrorism. There was also a tiny little room devoted to vintage erotica.
Had
This
beads.
was a huge
Okay.
store.
Wow.
And we finally got it. I didn't even touch like a third of this store. It was just so big, and it was overwhelming.
Vintage
It was just
erotica,
like,
yes. Okay.
yeah. Well, there was two guys in the room, and it's like, I don't even want to look.
They were showing
so
each other their books.
Yeah. So if you're in Jacksonville and you're in the market for books, damn, go find the book mine, because that is, it was huge, and I could have lived there for a good 3 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, they wouldn't find me. I mean,
Well, you wouldn't. So
Just follow the trail of paperback Tolkien's.
yeah, there we go. Just sprinkling of hobbits behind her. So that was half our week, and since my brother and I don't really agree on much entertainment, and we were sharing a hotel room, we kept the TV on Pluto TV's Doctor Who Classic station, which is the one thing we could agree with. So I watched a lot of John Pertwee and Tom Baker Doctor Who that week. This week I caught up on my shows. I'm starting the second season of Yellow Jacket, which is still pretty good. I binge watched all except the last episode of White Lotus, the entire 3 seasons. I haven't watched that last episode, which dropped, I think, yesterday or the day before. I have to say, season 3 is my favorite cast, but my least favorite stories, which is weird. I love all the actors. I'm just not jiving with all of the stories being told. In anthologies, you get different stories each season. They're not really connected, although you do have a couple characters that show up in different seasons. And then watching Daredevil, and yeah, I think that's it for TV. Movie wise, I am going to start, because I'm having such a hard time getting singular reviews up on the website, because life is being very outrageous right now. I'm going to do a weekly roundup of Plus, a lot of these movies, I mean, I watched Craven the Hunter, and
It
why
doesn't deserve its own review.
it doesn't deserve its own review.
Oh,
I watched a couple movies for Terrible Movies with Wonderful People. We watched Green Slime, which is incredibly fun, and The
great.
Snowman, which is incredibly not fun.
Not fun at all.
And horrible. And I'm sorry, Val Kilmer. I'm sorry they did that to you. uh, while in Florida, we did watch Werewolves, which is a Frank Grillo werewolf movie where in a supermoon everyone turns into a werewolf and they're trying to develop Moonscreen. And that sounds so much more fun than it actually is.
Aw.
Yeah. And then I watched The Rule of Jenny Penn, which is a John Lithgow, Jeffrey Rush movie set in a nursing home where John Lithgow is this kind of horrible dictator to all of the other old people. And it is at once kind of terrifying and also really, really sad and very depressing on how we treat our elderly. So, but John Lithgow's incredibly good. Jenny Penn is the little doll that he uses to beat people sometimes. But that's who he uses to rule everybody. And then yeah, that's kind of been my geeky week. I also did, while I was down in Florida, I read a lot because I was waiting in doctors' offices a lot. I read it's an anthology of Sam Wilson Captain America short stories.
Okay.
Called I had to return it to the library, so I don't have the physical copy with me. The Shield of Sam Wilson, Sam Wilson's Captain America, The Shield of Sam Wilson. It has short stories from several African American or Black authors. One of which is a very good friend of mine, Nicole Gibbons Kurtz, who has one of the stories in there. This is an official Marvel release, so good for her.
Yeah.
And yeah,
fantastic.
her story is excellent. And the whole book was actually really good. So I recommend it. The Shield of Sam Wilson. It's just an anthology of short stories dealing specifically with the new Captain America. And then I read Infused, which was a memoir from a tea sommelier, because that is a thing. Someone goes to restaurants and I'm like, damn, I missed my calling. Just travels the world tasting tea and introducing tea to people, and I'm like, couldn't I find that 20 years ago? But really loved it. I have to find it again. I checked that out of the library, so I want to find a copy of that for my shelf though, because that had some recipes in it that I wanted, and I really enjoyed the writing. So yeah, I did a lot of reading while I was down there, and then that was my geeky week.
Nice.
Well, I'm very glad to hear your brother is doing.
Yes, I'm kind of proud of him. We have our ups and downs. We don't see eye to eye on many things, or 90% of things, but I'm very proud that he took the doctor's advice to heart and decided, literally, and decided he didn't want somebody else's. He decided he didn't want somebody else's heart. So he's really pushing to keep his own.
Good.
Because talking to the doctor, it's so weird. Because talking to one of the nurses before his heart doctor came in, and she's like, so many people are thrilled when they get onto the transplant list. And I'm like, why would you be thrilled? I mean, you're literally thrilled that someone's going to die, because
no, they died anyway. I'm just thrilled that they died and gave me something that I needed. So
true, but
they know what they did.
Like, it's the goal is always to keep your own heart. And he's working toward that. So good for you, Doug.
That's good. Good job, Doug. So started watching around dinner time a show called Mid-Century Modern. It's your standard sitcom featuring Matt Bomer and Nathan Lane.
Okay.
And another guy that I recognize, but I can't remember his name.
Oh, this is the
Golden Girls, but they're gay. Yeah. And it's fantastic. It's the first episode's full of pilotitis. And after watch, I was just like, oh, but then watch the second episode and I'm like, okay, there it is. And it's just an absolute blast. It is a lot of fun. Mid-Century Modern. It streams on Hulu. Mm-hmm.
So Disney Plus, if you have Disney Plus.
That's
You
true.
bundled it.
Yeah. But it really is a joy. Really funny. Some really great lines. There's at least one line every episode that is just a belly laugh. So it's just really, really good. And I mean, Nathan Lane is just such a beast. And Matt Bomer playing the Betty White role is hilarious because he is such a damn good actor, but he also is ridiculously pretty. So him being the ditzy one, it's just, he's perfection. And Nathan Lane playing the B. Arthur. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. Next up, trailers. Oh, the trailers. So
What's the show called? Trailers? What?
no. I saw
New trailers that have come out.
yes. Like
Chad.
Fountain of Youth looks like a lot of fun. It's John Krasinski and Natalie Portman. Who Guy Ritchie directed it. I mean, it basically looks like an even more actiony version of National Treasure, The Librarians kind of a vibe. So it just looks like it's going to be fun. I do not know why they basically copied everything from the Guardians of the Galaxy title for the Fountain of Youth title, but whatever. I think that's going to be on Apple Plus. The Superman clip
Was so good.
Crypto. Oh my gosh.
Crypto's gonna steal the show.
Yeah. Crypto acting like a dog. When he, you hear Soup's whistle and Crypto comes running up out of nowhere, looks like a dog, then starts jumping on him and pouncing and bouncing off of him. And every time he's like, oh, good boy, Crypto. I don't want to be mad at you, but oh, God dang it. I am looking forward to that because one of the things that James Gunn knows how to do is find people who know how to make fake animals look real enough to basically Evel Knievel over the Uncanny Valley, where you know it's fake, but it has got so much damn realism in it, in their mannerisms and stuff, that your brain easily is able to suspend its disbelief. I mean,
Wait, that wasn't a real raccoon?
it really wasn't. It was actually two opossums standing on each other's shoulders.
Doing a Brad
was a
Cooper
real-
impersonation?
Yeah, doing a Brad Cooper impression. It took him a long time to train him that
It
way.
was a real sentient tree.
If you want a very quick, stupid laugh about this,
Mhm.
there's actually people that complained that Crypto jumped up on him a couple of times, because you see, Crypto is also from Krypton, meaning that he's a genius dog. It would know better than that, because service animals know better than that. And we're all like, he's a damn dog. When he realized he was hurt, he stopped. What are you talking about? You're upset that Crypto's not a genius dog. I want you to think about that sentence real quick for me.
Yeah,
Particularly since Superman isn't even a genius himself.
Thank you.
but he does wear glasses, so he convinces a lot of
Right? He
people.
looks smart. He does look smart.
Yeah. But I'm super stoked for that. Then two other trailers.
Come on.
Naked Gun
Naked Gun.
Wow.
with the Neesons.
I've been so worried about
Wow.
this, and that trailer makes me feel a lot better about this.
Yep.
It had that vibe. It had the right vibe.
That OJ moment.
Everything about it, I was just like, okay, I'm in. And then with the OJ moment, I'm like, I am definitely in.
Mhm.
Can
And
we do the entire movie with Liam Neeson in the skirt?
those are the special outtakes
Yep.
that you have to pay extra for. They're on my
Oh
OnlyFans.
God, Police Squad's gone woke.
Well, how about you, police squad, on these nuts? And and then I almost feel like I should leave this one for you, Billy.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
Tron Ares.
Tron freaking Ares.
While watching it, I'm seeing, and I'm like, wait, they're in the real world now? Okay, this is somebody who's just a big fan of the light cycles, and they just made their own. And okay, and oh, there's the light thing. Oh my god, I just split that cop car in half, and then you see the coming around the building. I was like, they're in the real world. What?
Real world.
Yeah. So I am stoked about it. And there is a fantastic story that I heard about. With, of course, Jared Leto is playing Ares. We all know he's a damn good actor, good musician, pretentious twat. And apparently he was doing his thing on the set, and Jeff Bridges comes on the set, and he's like, so hey, how's he to work with? And somebody was just like, well, he wants us all to call him Aries and stuff. He's method. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, some people are like that. All right, man. And then he just walks up to him, apparently. And he just goes, hey, Air, you mind if I call you Air, man? And apparently Leto was like, yeah, sure. He was like, all right, man, I like the way you jive and stuff like that. Like, he somehow duded one of the most pretentious actors out there, and he was just like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, all right, yeah, we can vibe, man. So I am looking forward to that visually, and I'm also looking forward to seeing how they explain that, how the story is, how they get out. I'm imagining it's probably some like hard light, like Ace Rimmer or something like that, but like how all that's going to work and the story that they're going to tell, I'm looking forward to, because I liked Tron Legacy. I had a blast with that. And within, but I was just like, well, is Daft Punk coming back for the soundtrack? Oh, Nine Inch Nails. Alrighty then. This should be good. So yeah, I'm stoked about it all the way around. I know I'm not as big a fan, not nearly as big of a fan as you, Mr. Flynn. But I'm looking forward to hearing your take on the trailer.
Happy. It made me so happy. I was just like, yeah, okay. Oh my God, yeah. I was like, yeah. Oh, okay, because there was like maybe the briefest, slightest mentions of that being a possibility in the last film. Nothing that anyone could really pay attention to. But you're going there, okay.
But I guess, is Garrett Hedlund going to be in this one?
That's a great question.
Because I mean, I liked him as Flynn's son.
I did too. I liked him quite a bit, and I think he should be.
Is Bruce Boxleitner still with us?
No, see, that's just, he is. Yes. That's okay. My other thing is like, so did we actually? Yeah, Bruce Boxleitner. Tron's not in the trailer.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, but that was much more of a sizzle reel.
In fairness, in Legacy, while he was, Tron wasn't. But still, it's like it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Did they drop a trailer for the new Final Destination?
Oh, they did.
They did.
And it's so funny because I was watching the trailer for it, and I was like, that looks like a Final Destination movie. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
So it's. I'll have to watch that because I don't like the fact that they're making another one.
Do you think now they'll bring back the sitcom they tried with that one?
Was it Zach?
It was supposed to be a Saved by the Bell, but yeah. They played a Zach Morris type character.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, that first movie with the logs falling off of a truck.
Oh, that's the second
one.
That was two.
Second one?
Two.
Sorry, I still think of that
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Every time.
I see one of those trucks. I move out of the way.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the movies, the Final Destination movies. I like the fact that you get a disaster movie at the very beginning and then a slasher film.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
But they finished that last movie in such a perfect way. I don't like the fact that they're making another one.
Well, look, as we know from other films, death actually doesn't take a holiday.
And death finds a way. I mean,
so, yeah.
I guess he's got some cleanup to do.
Death finds a way.
Yeah. Apartments.com. I'm very tired right now. So yeah, and of course, in honor of Val Kilmer's passing, I was disappointed that Real Genius wasn't available streaming anywhere, and my DVDs are still in storage.
IFC did show it though.
Oh, it did? Oh, very cool. Very cool. But ended up watching two of my other favorite Val Kilmer movies.
Come on.
Top Secret.
Hot damn yes.
And The Saint. And The Saint just still, both of them absolutely hold up, but The Saint is just so damn delightful. It is just, for me, it is just a perfect watching movie because you've got the sweet romance, you've got action, you've got cleverness, which I absolutely adore in any movie, and it's just so damn fun. And I mean, he's a, like, those two had such incredible chemistry. I don't know how anything got shot that they weren't just banging all the time, to be perfectly honest, because both Val Kilmer and Elizabeth Shue, both of them, super gorgeous people,
Right.
crazy chemistry and charisma from both of them. I'm just like, I don't know how. But anyway, but it was just, I just adore that movie so much. Wanted to watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but didn't get the time for it. And I've already in the past month or so watched Tombstone. So that was pretty much, those are my absolute, exactly. Those were absolutely my favorite Val Kilmer movies, even though there are plenty of other fantastic ones out there. But that has basically been my Geeky Week.
Kooky. So in comics, I'm caught up on Green Lantern, so I'm now just reading issues as they come out, which is weird because it feels like I'm in the 80s again. It's great. Secret Six has a new miniseries, and this time they're hunting. Amanda Waller has disappeared after the whole big, massive crossover they did with everything, and she was the big bad villain. We'll have to figure out what that's all about. I've read a little miniseries called Batman Full Moon, and yes, a werewolf comes to Gotham City. Okay, sure.
And Batman bites him, and then the werewolf becomes a werebat.
All the way around. So you get Batman, werewolfing out. A werewolf's running around with a Batman suit on it. It's great, fantastic.
Is it Man
But
Bat?
there is a way to remove, the lycanthropy and shit from your blood that Kirk Langstrom actually gets to work on. So, what they did there? I did the miniseries for the Batman Who Laughs. If you were the Dark Metal fan and were interested in that, this is delving deep into him coming into our universe, and bringing Bruce Waynes from various universes and killing them in our main Batman universe. Weird. Very, very, very weird. Because, the Batman Who Laughs, that's just weird in the first place. I also read The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. I'm glad. I want them to stop trying to milk this because The Long Halloween was such a good damn comic. It really was. I mean, this isn't bad, but it's like, no, if you were your own thing, I would not be comparing you to what you have your name as right there at the very front of it. So let's not do that. Movie time. I finally decided, you know what? I got to do it. I've done the others. I got to cross it off the list. So I watched Venom Last Dance.
It's fun.
I'm so glad these are over.
It's like the other two Venom movies. If you like the first two, you like this one.
The first one's a good dumb fun. The second one, I'm kind of like, okay, guys. This time, I was really like, really, guys, because there's a moment in the film where if he fully venoms out in the suit, the bad guy alien people are able to track him. So a lot of the movie he spends walking around while the Venom head just pops up and talks to him at the same time. And I'm like, okay, we really had to stretch that, didn't we? Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, was the other way too confusing for stupid people?
Yes.
I also watched Craven, and I know exactly what I say when I say this, but I will say that I think it's actually the best of the Spider-Man spin-off movies they've done at Sony. I understand what I'm saying when I say that.
It's a limbo bar, isn't it?
Here's the deal. No, here's the deal. It's a not bad Russian mafia movie. It just happens.
Yeah, that really just happens to be a Craven.
It happens to be
with
a
a K.
And
Craven with a K, because he says that like a couple of times in the movie. I'm like, we don't care how you spell your little superhero name, honey.
Right.
It wasn't a box of Cravens, the cereal,
unfortunately,
running around. Yeah, very confused. Thank God he spelled it for me.
I mean, it was a fun little ride. It really was. But the whole time it's just like, so how does this guy become the guy who hunts Spider-Man down? How does this happen?
There's
'Cause I don't
absolutely no
see
indication that
in
he.
this movie.
It's like in all three of the
He's a
Sony.
hunter.
Well, isn't Madam Web like a? Oh wow, we got thunder here.
Madam Web
Isn't
is
Madam
fun.
Web a bad? Is she a good guy or a bad guy in the comics?
She's neutral, isn't she?
Sort of, yeah. Depends on how you need her to be for the story.
Because they just never. Like, it's like Morbius, Madam Web, Craven, all of the Venoms, none of them are treated like the villains that they actually are.
No.
And
that's
this
what
one
made
was
this-
just kind of, this one was just a Russian mobster movie, only he runs funny sometimes.
And that's what made this one weird, since it has more direct connections to the Spider-Man universe. We get some cameos from other villains in this movie, because if you know who Craven is, you know who his brother is, and his brother
it's
is in this
Chameleon.
movie. And
And the throwaway line at the end, I saw a doctor in New York. And now
Yes.
you're like full-on chameleon lizard thing?
yes, apparently he has been for a while. He was just tricking us. It was very
I'm
nice
like,
that they did that,
okay.
where he would just impersonate people's voices. I was like, okay, as a fan, I get that, and that's funny. But then, yeah, we did the whole chameleon thing at the end. I was like, okay, all right, fine. So, okay, best. So I took my kid to go see Minecraft.
How was it?
She enjoyed it immensely.
How did you like
Play
it?
Yeah, I don't never played Minecraft, so I have no
I
notes.
firmly believe that if you are a fan of Minecraft, you're going to enjoy it quite a bit. I, however, was just like, okay. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of there for me. I don't connect to this stuff. I don't play Minecraft, so it's not for me. I'm not the target audience. I'm not a tween, so this is just not for me in any way, shape, and form. I will give it some credit though for having some interesting things to actually say about toxic masculinity. So there's that.
Okay.
There is that. So it's got some, it's
Now-
got a little bit to it. There are worse movies for your kids to watch than the Minecraft movie. There's much worse.
How is your audience? Because there are certain audiences for this film that are just trashing theaters.
Yeah, during that one spot with
Oh.
the chicken jockeys or something like that, chicken
Yeah,
riders.
no, I mean, it wasn't. We went Sunday morning, the opening weekend. What was last weekend? So yeah, we went Sunday morning. So there wasn't a lot of people there. So maybe that had something to do with it. So we weren't a packed theater by any stretch of the imagination. So everyone was just kind of like, oh, everyone brought their kids who like playing Minecraft. That's basically what that was. Because the parents,
Okay.
a lot of times, the eye contact where we're all like, yeah, no, I know. we're good people.
Thanks for sparing me from that one.
We're really good people. For my
Well,
TV,
actually, the dog got me out of that one.
yeah, yeah, dog
I
had
had
an
to stay home with the dog.
Yep. I watched the second season of Woman of the Dead. This is, my coroner. It's a German show, I think, and whatever. This is interesting because it's been 2 years since the first season, and the police have to dig up a body. And the body they dig up is the casket where she did hide pieces of a body that she put into that casket. So that kind of opens up the whole thing again, and we have to start doing an investigation. It was an interesting concept, and a couple of times she still does talk to corpses, but she doesn't really talk to corpses a lot. It really has. That has really nothing to do with the show at all. It's interesting. So I mean, you've seen worse procedurals, so you should go for that. I also watched 10 p.m. This is an Indonesian horror show about like this spooky, weird radio broadcast that happens at 10 p.m. every night that not everybody hears. So strange things happen. Yeah, you've seen other things. I've been watching on Prime, The Rig. They've got 2 seasons out. I randomly found this. So people working on an oil rig, middle of the ocean. And then that's when the strange things start happening. But credit to this show. It's not a creature. It's not some deep sea thing that's come back to life. Oh, no. This is science fiction. This is some hardcore effing science fiction. Because what it is that these oil companies, they've basically disturbed these ancient cells that have been around and dormant for like 400 million years.
Dire wolves? No.
No, because that's not real.
The waters from Mars?
And so it's its organism in its own right, but it is a thinking man show set on an oil rig. Go figure. Go figure. And
Don't want to close my eyes.
And I guess the highlight of my TV stuff for the week is I watched Dying for Sex. Anybody seen this?
I think I've
No,
heard of
seen
it.
previews for it.
Michelle Williams on Hulu.
The white one.
Wow.
Yep. No, but that's a good delineation.
Yep.
Plays a woman who had cancer.
Yeah.
It's gone away, and that's caused a big, problem with her marriage because there were issues where he becomes the person taking care of her, not necessarily the person that is in love with her as a partner anymore. And now, as it turns out, oops, guess what? Now she's got freaking cancer in her hip. She has stage 4 cancer. She is incurable. She is going to die. And
It's a rousing romp of a show.
Oh, it's fantastic. And the medication that is supposed to decrease her libido more than it already is, and it's kind of dead in the first place, has the opposite effect. And she would like to be getting some busy. And her husband's not really interested. In fact, she tries to do something incredibly nice for him, and while doing that, takes his hand and places it upon her body, to which he starts crying. Because touching her breast reminds him that she had a mastectomy and that she's going to die. So as she says, well, I can't die with you, and moves out and starts to have sex and finds out what she really, really likes in life before she goes out. And it's based on a true story. This was a podcast. This woman used to tell
Never heard
stories.
of a podcast. What's a podcast?
Most people call them podcasts. This was a podcast where she actually told the stories about it because she's gone now. We have lost her. It's not there, but it is a very funny. Oh my God, it's going to squeeze your heart so bad at times, but it is a very, very funny show that I highly recommend. It was quite good. It was quite good. And the music in the show is fantastically. You should check that out as well.
The wonderful Billy Flynn looks at what Chad and Abby are up to now. If you know what TV show they're on this week, you could win yourself a prize. It's your further adventures of Chad and Abby update. Chad's mom, Madeline, moves temporarily into his apartment. She tries to get her financial situation sorted out and wreaks havoc on his personal life. Oh, Jake, of course. Then Chad gets nominated for Bachelor of the Year by Manhattan Magazine, and not stopping, he tries to fix his mom up with a millionaire and reconsiders. When Chad's cop buddy is shot, he comes to his place to get better, and Chad thinks about getting married when he meets a former girlfriend. So I guess he's already forgotten about Abby. Chad knows dealing with mom means anything could happen. Well, anything but love. Madeline shows her true colors and goes for a bounty. Chad has a tough life being a matriarch's gammon, a matron sprout, a child-bearer's whippersnapper. Hashtag Chabby forever.
Looks like you've got mail waiting.
Is it Dying for Sex?
Oh my God! How did you... This was really just an entry for the contest, but we had no other mail this week, and I love this little line. So, the show is like the universe. Everything sucks. That is from Janet. Yes, Janet. Last week, Chad and Abby were on Everything Sucks, and do you have?
Oh, I thought she was describing last show. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know what?
Step up your game, people. Gosh.
Right.
It's sad. No, seriously, Janet, if you need to lighten up, to laugh, or whatever, we're playing Jackbox tomorrow night. You should come hang out with us. We'll be live on Twitch, so come hang. Stupid things will happen, and you can affect the game. It'll be fantastic. It'll be awesome. It'll be good. God, there was something else I was going to tell you. I don't remember what it is. I do know, though, that if you'd like to drop a note to us, by all means, you should send a note to podcast@geekradiodaily.com. Or, of course, we take voicemails. We take text messages. Huh? You just need to utilize this number.
10 GRD crew.
I'm sorry, what was that?
510 GRD crew.
See, that works really well when you do that. That part works great.
We let things pile up in the DVR, we add them to our queues, we wait for the DVDs and Blu-rays. We time shift. The Time Shifters Podcast. Sci-fi, horror, fantasy, superheroes, comedy, action, film, television, maybe some not-so-current events. Find us on iTunes or at timeshifterspodcast.com.
It's Thursday night, and the podcast is now 47 minutes of someone trying to fold a fitted sheet in complete silence. Come play Jackbox with Geek Radio Daily on Friday night, and maybe Flynn will dramatically say, "You and I are not so different."
Not really. I mean, if you think about it, we basically share the same brain. It's kind of creepy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It was, of course, that time.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Geek News!
The world. From a geeky point of view.
Recent leaks suggest that GTA 6 may be priced around $100 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS versions. This potential pricing has sparked significant backlash among Xbox gamers, with many expressing reluctance to purchase the game at such a high cost. Some users have stated that they will wait for discounts or forego buying the game entirely if the price remains elevated. It isn't like they're going to shut down their GTA Online cash cow, are they? Rockstar Games' parent company, Take-Two Interactive, has recently set $70 as the standard price for next-gen titles like NBA 2K21. Given GTA's anticipated expansive scope and production costs, some industry analysts predict a price increase. However, official pricing is yet to be confirmed by Rockstar. Now, you think that a company that makes games based on thieving isn't going to do what they can do to get your money? Think again. Additionally, some Xbox fans have voiced their desire for GTA 6 to be available on Xbox Game Pass. There's sentiment among certain gamers that if the game isn't included in the subscription service, they might opt out of purchasing it. This, of course, has led to mixed reactions within the gaming community, with debates about the feasibility and fairness of such expectations. Look, they aren't going to put the game out for free on Game Pass. They just aren't. But surely they won't forget their current fan base, are they? Well, you forget 1,000 things every day. I'm sure they won't be one of them. Right?
Nah, of course not.
See, that's a line from GTA 6.
Yeah, that was good.
Story.
I liked it. See what you did there.
I like it.
Who's going next?
I can. Yeah, so this is kind of cool in science news. Virus trapping gum could help neutralize herpes infections. So a special
About
type of
time.
chewing gum can trap and neutralize some influenza and herpes viruses, according to new experiments from scientists in the US and Finland. The herpes simplex virus 1 and 2 can both cause oral herpes, and despite being one of the most common infections in the world, there are hardly any preventable measures available today to stop the spread. So they hope this new antiviral gum could help fill the gap, especially since, there's not a lot of funding for research on vaccines right now. Anyway, current vaccines, even for like influenza, do not prevent transmission from breakthrough infections. So this gum could be a useful addition for treating orally spread viruses. It's a clinical grade chewy material made from lab bean powder ground from the seeds of the Lablab purpureus species. It sounds fake, but it's real. It contains a natural viral trap protein called frill, or FRIL, right? In experiments using a mechanical mouth, chewing the liquid soaked gum for 15 minutes released more than 50% of the frill proteins it contained. Collecting the simulated saliva from this chewing, researchers then tested how well the liquid neutralized the viruses. Depending on the dose, with the saliva produced showed greater than 95% neutralization of the H1N1 and H3N2 influenza viruses in the lab. It also showed up to 75% neutralization of herpes 1 and 94% for herpes 2. It means it's less likely to infect the cells and replicate itself, and would theoretically lead to a reduced viral load and lower chances of transmission. So we're hoping to do this bean gum in human clinical studies. I mean, as long as it comes in like strawberry or watermelon, people
Now,
will
what
chew it.
flavor?
Yeah. So it's the University of Pennsylvania is part of it. It's based on previous experiments that found that certain kind of gum actually were reducing things like COVID in mouse labs. So I mean, it's not just any gum. Your Bubblicious isn't going to cut it, but it's just kind of cool to think like eventually you could end up getting sick and part of your treatment is to chew this gum and then you won't transmit the virus, that could have a big impact. So, I like gum. It could freshen your breath and it can also save your life.
Freshen your genitals.
Mouth herpes. Mouth herpes.
I left your money in a piece of gum on the nightstand.
That's way better than what I was going to say.
About that.
I'm not going to say. That's fantastic.
Also in science news, during the last 7 years, a global team of more than 150 scientists collaborated on the most complicated neuroscience experiment ever attempted. And they've released their findings this week. From a tiny sample of tissue no larger than a grain of sand, the Microns project completed the first step toward the goal once thought unattainable, building a functional wiring diagram of a portion of the brain. The research started at Baylor College of Medicine, where scientists use specialized microscopes to record the brain activity of 1 cubic millimeter portion of a mouse's visual cortex while the animal watched various movies and YouTube clips. It's like they're mapping my own brain. We just need to throw some Tolkien at it. Afterwards, Allen Institute researchers took that same cubic millimeter of the brain and shaved it into more than 25,000 layers, each 1/400th of the width of a human hair, and used an array of electron microscopes to take high-resolution pictures of each slice. By the end, the Microns project, machine intelligence from central... By the end, the Microns project, which stands for Machine Intelligence from Cortical Networks, built the most detailed wiring diagram of the mammalian brain to date, and it is currently online. There is a link in the article. If you want to look at it, it's actually quite beautiful. Inside that tiny speck is an entire architecture like an exquisite forest, said Clay Reed, PhD, senior investigator and future supervillain, and one of the few early founders of electron microscopy connections, who brought this area of science to the Allen Institute 13 years ago. It has all sorts of rules of connections, and we knew from various parts of neuroscience, and within the reconstruction itself, we can test the old theories and hope to find new things that no one has ever seen before. I'm sure none of this will ever be used for any sort of, nefarious purposes or large-scale brain control operations at all. But yeah, it does actually look very beautiful if you want to go and watch the little visual tour they gave of the speck of a mouse brain.
I'm just picturing Mickey when he's slicing that bean. Jacking Mickey in the beanstalk.
I'm just picturing Mickey sitting in the chair from Clockwork Orange with his eyes forced open, watching Mr. Beast videos on rotation.
Can we stop, please? No, not Ludwig. No, Ludwig.
Shut up. We're doing this for science.
Oh, my God. Well, then. Okay. Well, I guess in not science news, there are many reasons to buy Pokemon trading cards. Your love of catching them all has become an obsession. I mean, hobby. Or you're going to try to find that next Black Lotus so you can be the first to sell it on eBay. Well, now you can add one more reason to buy these cards to that list. Because Pokemon trading cards act as a mini bulletproof shield if someone tries to shoot you. Though, I wouldn't trust it with Reaper's arms. That's not going to work well for you. Reddit's Lolan and Slacks 88 was asleep at home when they were awoken by loud explosions. And apparently, this was a common enough occurrence in Lolan Slack 88's neighborhood to assume that these were just gunshots being fired by their neighbor, or, of course, they could have been two cannons arguing as they migrate. They believe that their neighbor had accidentally fired their gun toward Lola in Slack's 88's house, as they found a hole in the wall next to a Tupperware bin containing their Pokemon card collection. And upon inspecting the bin, they found the bullet had been stopped by one of the card decks. Perhaps fittingly, it was a deck themed around Incineroar, who was famously overpowered in the competitive circuit, at least in video games. But, quick hint, you want to beat it, avoid the Alolan Whip, and be fast. It's just that damn simple. The actual 9mm bullet was still inside the box, if it hadn't been there, it would have likely struck me while I was asleep because it's level with my bed, wrote Lola in Slacks 88, following up with an image of a police report. Okay, I'm okay, but I now count Incineroar as my guardian angel Pokemon and have never been happier to have piles of cardboard in my box. You never know, they might stop a bullet. That's right. Lola still wants to collect them all, just not 99 millimeters, and this, my friends, is exactly why you should always sleep with a Snorlax. GRD is licensed with the Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Non-Derivative Works, United States 3.0 license. Come check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. Stop by the website at geekradiodaily.com. If you didn't get that, ask your kid what the hell I'm talking about. It makes a ton of sense, I promise.
It sounds like you're talking about my ex-wife. Am I right? Too.
Drop us a note, won't you please? It's podcast at geekradiodaily.com. Or, of course, the voicemail, the text message.
510 GRD Crew.
And please, come play Jackbox with us tomorrow night. All kinds of wacky, crazy stuff will happen, and we might force Dickie to buy another t-shirt. That happens at times. Make people spend money and change the fate of their lives. It's great. You'll enjoy it. I promise.
Game over, man. Game over.
Good night, everybody.
I asked one army, and all I got was you. You are not enough.
Listen, ladies, it's been real and it's been fun. But has it been real fun? Nope.
Lieutenant Harris dropped by earlier, had a little surprise for me. A request for an immediate transfer.
Oh, dear.
Naturally, I assumed she wanted out because she couldn't take a bath, but that wasn't the reason. So I said, what is the reason? And she said, I made a damn fool of myself and the whole camp knows it. So I said, well, I don't know it. And she said, I'm surprised Pierce didn't tell you.
What?
So I said, why are you dropping this in my lap? You should be talking to your head nurse. And she said, the head nurse hates me.
I do not hate her.
So I said, back up a bit. What is it you did that's got everybody's tongue wagging except mine? She said I had an unhappy love affair. So I said, was it one of my doctors? And she said, no, it was your priest.
Colonel, you must understand, she's very upset.
That's what she said. She was so upset she's giving up on med school. I didn't even know she was going to med school.
She mustn't give up.
Now look, folks, this is none of my affair, so why don't we keep it that way? The woman has only got a few weeks left in this man's army. A transfer would be a waste of good red tape. So here's what you're gonna do. You stop talking about her. You stop hating her. And you stop dating her. I was just saying, Jack, but I've got a water crisis waiting. Dismissed.
I love Harry Morgan's voice. Just and him as Colonel Potter was just exquisite.
I was trying to get a couple of things. I was trying to get something from Dragnet, but I couldn't find the thing that I wanted. I tried going for the movie, and I couldn't find the thing that I wanted. So I was like, oh, well, there's plenty of fantastic Potter stuff, and that was like one of the first ones I found. But yeah, that's great.
So that Pokemon story, that's going to be a really weird Dirty Harry mashup. So, kid, did I draw a Pikachu, a Charizard, or a Ditto?
Did I have only 5 Pokeballs? Or did I have 6 or did I only have 5? To be honest, in all the excitement, I lost count myself.
I mean, that was like, yeah, that was just, yeah, that was a kind of silly thing. I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, look at there, your geek saved your life, yeah, woo.
Just, wow.
In fairness, if I had put my comic books around my bed, I'm sure they could stop a bullet.
That's why I carry a copy of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit with me wherever I go, right over my heart. So just in case I'm shot, it'll stop at the Council of Elrond.
Now everyone knows to shoot you in the head. Great. It's going to be weird. We have to do the show where you get shot in the head. It's going to be so weird. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was all fun and games until Billy made that.
I'll have to start wearing my cats on my head. Maybe they'll protect me. Like,
wow. You want to see a cat move fast? Yeah, have it on your head and let someone shoot. Wow.
Oh no, she heard me.
This got weird, man.
A little bit.
Got real weird.
I was not expecting,
Not a fun weird. Just real weird.
Animal bodyguards was not expecting that. Okay then.
Got dark and weird.
So I don't know how to look ahead. Oh wait, where's the there's a calendar somewhere. Calendar.
What is it? It says it's a 20. It's the day. It's
Right.
the RavenCon thing.
Right. So
It's
the
the
RavenCon.
RavenCon thing.
So May
So,
8th is our
May
next
8th.
show.
May 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why this is the one and only thing.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's true.
It makes sense if you know what I know.
May 8th. Makes sense if you don't think about it.
Well, Carol, we look forward to seeing you at RavenCon for sure, Rich. We understand your reasons why, and we'll hopefully see you again at some point IRL. Know what that means?
Mysticon.
Which I filled out my guest application and I got a room.
Same here.
myself. Do the things.
Things.
Yeah.
Things.
Sorry, people. I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
It's been a day.
same
I had a
here.
root canal today.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Ah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can still put on that fake smile. Isn't that great?
I'm an actress. Anyway.
Acting.
Actors.
I've been up since 4:30 for no damn reason.
Okay, that also counts in the long day category.
Yeah.
That is true.
Stop the streaming. Let's say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody. We're gonna go.
We're gonna go sleep world.
See you this week.
Bye.